How are you?
We are
Can
fine,
you hear
Mr.
my voice? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, Mr.
Okay, very good. So it's going to be English class now, and it's the second week. Okay, there are some voices disturbing us. Please, everyone, pay attention and let's start our class. This is the second week of the Zoom class. As you remember, last week we had problems of the network, the internet network, but today I think it's going to work very good. Okay, guys, unless I tell you to open your microphones, please don't open them. After the discussion, when it's time for you to discuss with me, you will open your microphones and or unmute them, and then we can have a discussion. Last week, we tried to talk about the first week's lesson on your grade 8 textbook, which is, of course, we're going to discuss on the grammar part. It was simple present tense. We mentioned some uses of simple present tense and the forms of the simple present tense in case of positive, negative, and question or interrogative statements. To touch up some points, as you know, simple present tense, it's the simplest tense in the English tenses. And we first mentioned tense is expressed or defined as a time expression. Time expression means tense expresses time in short. For example, if I say I ate my lunch, when I say I ate my lunch, you will understand that the verb ate refers to some kind of time, which is past. So you can say that is past tense. But if I say I will eat my lunch, you know that I haven't done the action yet, so you will guess the time as future, which is again expressed by tense. So time is expressed by tense in English. So for today, we're going to have the second week's grammar topic, which is conditional sentences. Hopefully, I see some students who are our former grade 8 students. This is not new for you. Even for the current grade 8s, you have discussed about conditional sentences with your English teacher in grade 7, which is Mr. Elias. So without further ado, let's go to today's lesson. I'm going to display a PowerPoint prepared on this topic, and we're going to discuss depending on that. Finally, we will have practice time, which is I'll evaluate how you understand the lesson. Can you see the PowerPoint now?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, Mr.
Okay, good. So, to start with, what's conditional sentence? To start with, let's talk about what conditional sentences are. So, conditional sentence is formed from two clauses. One is the if clause and the second one is the main clause. Condition is like, for example, this year you guys are going to be grade 8s and you're going to take national exam, and your parents, any of your parents could say, if you score 90% and above this year, I'm going to do this for you, or I will do this for you. So there's a condition and there is a fulfillment, or if you fulfill what is mentioned in the if clause, then there is a possibility for the action in the main clause to happen. So the condition is for you to score 90 and above, and the result clause is you will be given some kind of present from your parents. So there is the condition clause and the result clause. But in order for the results to happen, there needs to be the fulfillment of the action in the if clause, which is the condition clause. Saying this, conditional sentences consist of four types. The first one is conditional type 0, or what we call the fact clause. It is called fact because it talks about things which are generally true. In conditional type 0, you talk about actions which are generally true, something that you cannot change. So mostly scientific or facts. And for this kind of conditional, as I said earlier, there are two clauses, the if clause and the main clause. In both clauses, you use simple present tense. Simple present tense, which is the basic or verb one form of any verb, but sometimes according to the subject, you add s or es. So if you are using simple present tense in both clauses, and if you start your conditional sentence using if, as always, you use comma. Okay? If the if clause is written at the beginning of the sentence, you separate the if clause and the main clause using a comma. But if you start your statement or your sentence, your conditional sentence, by the main clause, you don't need to separate the two clauses using a comma. So for conditional type 0, let's see an example. If I throw a ball upwards, it falls back down. Throw and falls. Is there anyone who can tell me why I used throw here, but there is falls there? Why not throw and fall? Can anyone explain that? Can anyone explain that? Okay, to save time, I will answer the question myself. If I throw a ball upwards, why did I use throw here? Because the subject is I. I is a first person singular subject. It uses simply the verb one form. But when you go to the main clause, it refers to a ball. And a ball is a third person singular noun represented by it. So third person singular nouns in the simple present tense use verb 1 plus s or es. For the verb fall, we simply add s. That's why we don't say if I throws a ball upwards, it fall back down. So instead of that, you say if I throw a ball upwards, it falls back down. The second example, when it rains and you don't have an umbrella, you get wet. Well, to prove this, you don't have to go out and see it in the rain because it's a fact. If there is a rain and you don't use an umbrella, you get wet because of the rain. In conditional type 0, what makes it different is in place of if, you can use when or unless. The difference is unless is negative. Unless is negative. If not, it means, okay? Unless means if not. So the negative form of if is unless. So unless you eat every day, you die. Well, I don't want you to try this. Oh, Mr. said, unless you eat every day, you die, and that's a fact. Oh, let me try it. Don't do that. You don't have to try this. Unless you eat every day, you die. Let alone every day, for some hours, if you don't eat, you feel some pain in your stomach. So that's a fact. Moving to the next, the second one is conditional type 1. Conditional type 1 is used to talk about possibilities. It is called future possible clause because it talks about possible actions in the present or future. Things may happen. I said this because why did I say may happen? Because as I said first, when I was explaining what conditional is, I said there needs to be the fulfillment of the action in the if clause. So if there has to be the fulfillment of the action in the if clause, then there is the possibility of the main clause action happening. In this kind of conditional type 1, you use again simple present in the if clause. But when you come to the main clause, you use simple future, which is modal auxiliaries plus verb 1. Modal auxiliaries are like can, may, will, shall, and so on. So modal auxiliaries in their first form plus verb 1. Look at the first example. If it snows a lot tonight, they will call off school tomorrow. This is what you wish every time when you were at school, right? The calling of school. Well, since we had spent more than 6 months at home, I guess you missed school by now, so there is no calling of school this year. So if it snows a lot tonight, well, this doesn't happen a lot in our country. If it snows a lot tonight, it is the third person singular subject. So the verb snow became snows. A lot tonight, they will call off school tomorrow. Call off is the verb 1 form of the verb call off itself. If it was verb 2 or verb 3, it could be called off. So snows, simple present, will call off simple future. Again, the second example. If it rains tonight, I will call you for a ride home. Your friend was somewhere else and he or she says, if it rains tonight, and let's say you have a car, if it rains tonight, my friend, I'll call you for a ride home. Rains, simple present, will call simple future. The third and the last example for this type of conditional is tornadoes can cause severe damage to a building if they touch down. There is touchdown is a simple present form of touchdown itself. Can cause is simple future, but the modal auxiliary is changed from will into can to show the possibility strengths. So as I said earlier, for simple future, we can use can, may, shall, will, plus the basic form, which is verb 1. Let's proceed. The third type of conditional is type 2, conditional type 2. This is imaginary or unreal. Why is it called unreal or imaginary? I will explain that. This is a structure used for talking about unreal situations in the present or in the future. The second conditional is used to talk about things which are unreal, not true or not possible, in the present or in the future. Things which don't or won't happen. By the way, remember, won't or don't happen now. It doesn't mean it couldn't happen in the future. I'll explain that again. The form is you use simple past or verb to form of the main verb in the if clause. And in the main clause, you use either would or could or might, and then the verb form is again, verb 1. Look at the first example. If I had $1 million, I would buy a big house. Does it mean I have now? No. Do I buy it now? No. But this could happen in the future. Not true right now, but could happen sometime in the future. That's why it is called things which don't or won't happen at the moment. Some of them are imaginary. For example, if I were you, I would plan the picnic for Sunday. Can I be you? No. Did I plan? No. Or would I plan it? No. I'm not you, so I can't plan it, but I'm imagining if I were you. In this type of conditional, remember the verb were is used with all subjects in the if clause in the case of conditional type 2. If I were you, if he were you, if she were you, if they were you, you can use it for all subjects. Look at the second example. If he had time, he could take a long vacation, which means at the moment he doesn't have the time and he can't take a long vacation, but who knows, in the future this could happen. That's why it's called unreal situation in the present or in the future. The last one, conditional type 3. I call this the regret clause. The regret clause. The regret clause. Why do I call it the regret clause? I'll explain that in my examples. This is a structure used for talking about unreal situations in the past. Remember, all the types of conditionals that we discussed before now talk about things in the present or future. But when you come to conditional type 3, it talks about an action in the past. An action in the past. The third conditional is to talk about things which didn't happen in the past. Or it is often used to express criticism or regret. Mostly your parents, your teachers, and some people use this kind of conditional on you. You will understand that when I explain it. Let's talk about the form. In the if clause, you use if with past perfect. Past perfect tense is had plus verb 3. If you remember, in our first Zoom class, I said the third forms of any verb cannot stand by itself because it needs a helping verb. So past perfect uses verb 3. Verb 3 doesn't stand by itself. So what does it need? Had, which is a helping verb. So if plus had plus verb 3 gives us past perfect in the if clause and would have or could have or might have plus verb 3 in the main clause. We call this the verb form in the main clause perfect conditional. Perfect conditional. Let's see the example and you'll understand what I meant earlier. If I had studied harder, I would have passed the exam. Did this student study harder? No. Did he pass the exam? No. So it means if I had studied harder means I didn't study harder. I would have passed the exam means I didn't pass the exam. The second one, as I said earlier, it's regret, yes? If I had done this, if I had done that, if I had did this and so on. This is called regret. The second one, if it hadn't rained so hard, it would have been a perfect day. Was it a perfect day? No. Why? Because it had rained so hard. So none of this happened. It rained, so not raining didn't happen. The third one, I wrote this example because I want you to understand that conditional type 3 can start by had without if. Had I studied more means if I had studied more. Sometimes you could find sentences like had I had this, which means if I had had. We can have two hads in one sentence for conditional type 3 because one had is a helping verb, the other one is the third form of have. So if I had the money, I would have given it to you. The first had is acting as a helping verb, but the second one is as a main verb. Because in the absence of main verbs, verb to be, verb to have, and verb to do can become main verbs. So the third example, had I studied more, I would have gotten a higher score on the test. Did I study? No. Did I get a higher score? No. So what is it called? Regret or criticism on yourself. So guys, I want to advise you according to this conditional type, this year, when you sit for your national exams, I don't want you to use conditional type 3 on yourself. You shouldn't say, if I had given more time for my studies, I would have scored a better result on national exam. No, so start using your time right now. Our discussion is over, but before I proceed to the practice time, I will have a face-to-face question and answer time with you. If you have any question, you can ask. Hi, you guys look nice, by the way. So if you have any question, it's time for you to ask. Is there anyone who has a question?
No.
Please
No.
ask questions.
No.
Jerry, do you have a question?
No.
Saron?
No.
Okay, if you don't have any question, we are left with some kind of 15 to 20 minutes. I'm going to be giving you some questions. I'll share that with you now. And this is how you are going to practice changing tenses into conditional 1, 2, and 3. I'll give you 1 minute for each, and make sure you write your answers on a piece of paper, and then on the discussion time you will give answers. I'm going to ask you questions one by one, calling your names. So start now. You are given 6 minutes for this conditional type 1 and 2. Go. Guys, the 6th question is incomplete, so you can leave number 6. You can leave number 6. Do 1 to 5, and then we'll continue from 7 to 9. 1 to 3 is conditional type 1, and 4 and 5 are conditional type 2. I'll give you 5 minutes for this one.
The next one, mister.
So should I go to the next one? To question number 7?
No.
Yes.
No, mister. No. 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 No.
No.
Okay, you have 2 minutes to finish up this one. Hurry up, hurry up. We don't have time. By the way, you can do number 6 too. It dash be nice if the rain stop is the next verb and you need to change stop to. So you can do that too. I can hear your voice. Ala qawm is not an option. If you have any question, you can still ask. Okay, time is up for this one. Finish number 7 up to 9 using conditional type 3. Anyone who hasn't finished? Is there anyone who didn't finish?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
How many more minutes do you need?
5.
5? Come on. 5 is a lot.
3.
Okay, I'll go with 2.
No.
2 minutes. Guys, you are going to take national exam. Every question is going to be given 1 minute in the national exam. 60 questions, 60 minutes. So practice that starting now. 2 minutes. Okay, it's time. So now I'm going to call your name one by one so that we can participate actively, okay? Okay, some of you don't use your names on this Zoom class, so maybe, why not number one for Jerry? Jerry, open your microphone and try number one. As I said earlier, it's conditional type 1. Jerry? I'm waiting.
If you're not gonna study hard, you're gonna fail.
Try to correct it a little bit. Use simple present tense negative and simple future tense on the main clause. The negative form of simple present tense, I discussed it with you last week. I said do is used, or do or does plus not. So if you don't study, you will fail the test. That's the correct answer. If you don't study, you will fail the test. Good. Let's go to the second one. Okay. Afomia. Afomia, try the second question. Try to hurry up. Afomia Dereji. Afomia Dereji. Okay. Leah Tadele, try number 2. Leah. Okay.
Mister,
Yes.
can you give me, can you tell me the question? I didn't write it.
Why not? I gave you so much time. Here it is. It says, I dash you my umbrella if you dash it.
I,
Uh-huh.
I will lend you my umbrella if you need it.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. I will lend you my umbrella if you need it. This is when the main clause comes at the beginning. Excellent. Let's proceed. Okay, number 3 is for Brook Masrasha. Brook Masrasha, number 3. Hurry up, please. Time is going. Brook Masrasha. Whenever you stay quiet, it means that you don't want to participate. Okay, Amin Kabede, number 3. Amin.
Mister, can you show us the questions, please?
Here you go. Number 3. If I dash, which is late, I blank you. If I blank, the verb is be late. I blank you, the verb is call. Okay, to explain this, there is be here. This is called verb to be. Verb to be can be changed into am, is, are, was, were, or been. In this case, it's conditional type 1, so simple present is going to be used. So the present form of be is am, is, are. And for this subject, which is I, we need to use am. So if I am late, I will call you is the correct answer. If I am late, I will call you is the correct answer. Number 4, anyone who wants to try? Let's make it volunteer. Yes?
Mister, I have a question.
On which one?
I have a question.
Okay, go on.
On the third one, can it be, if I be late, I will call you?
If I be late is not a correct English. Be must be changed into its present form. Okay, number 4. It says conditional type 2. We are left
Mister,
with
can I
4
answer?
minutes. Yes, yes, go.
If you leave your job, you will travel around the world.
Nice try, but it says conditional type 2.
Mister, can I answer? Can I try?
Yes, yes, go on, yes.
If you left your job, you would travel around the world.
Yes, if you left your job, you could travel around the world, or you would travel around the world. Conditional type 2. If you left, left is the past tense form of live. Excellent. Who is the one who answered the question? Can I have your name?
Yani,
Yanit. Very nice. Excellent. Okay, number 5. Anyone who's volunteer? Boys,
Can I
participate,
try?
please. Boys.
Can I try?
Okay, go on.
If you'd been him, he would.
Try. If you were nicer to him, he would lend you the money.
Come again, please. Okay, when you answer questions, please open your microphones. I can't hear you. Anyone who answers the question number 4, I mean number 5?
If you are nicer to him, he would lend you the money.
Conditional type 2. Make it type 2.
If you were nicer to him, he would lend you the money.
Excellent. If you were nicer to him, he would lend you the money. Very good. Number 6. The second verb is stop. Number 6.
It would be nice if the rain stopped.
Excellent. Who is that?
Hello.
Shalom. Excellent. It would be nice if the rain stopped. Let's proceed. Number 7. Here you have situations, because I said earlier it talks about criticism or regret. The first one, Or number 7, he crashed his car because he fell asleep while driving. So now you're going to criticize this person. Anyone?
Can I try?
Yes, yes.
If he had fell asleep while driving, he would have crashed his car.
Come again.
If he had fell asleep while driving, he would have crashed his car.
Okay, look at the situation. He crashed his car. Okay? Because he fell asleep while driving. So now you're going to criticize this person. But you said if he had fell asleep, which is wrong. Correct it.
If he fell
He had
asleep,
fallen asleep.
No, no. This person crashed his car because he was sleeping. Now you're going to criticize this person by saying he shouldn't have done that. So how can
He hadn't fell
He
asleep,
wouldn't
he would
have
not crash his car.
Excellent. But fall, the verbsary form of fall is fallen. So if he hadn't fallen asleep while driving, he wouldn't have crashed his car. Which means he crashed his car because he has fallen asleep. Let's go to number 8. I lost my job because I was late for work. Number 8. I lost my job because I was late for work. Anyone? Okay, because we don't have time, I will answer this question. It starts with the main clause. So, I wouldn't have lost my job if I hadn't been late for work. I wouldn't have lost my job if I hadn't been late for work, which means I lost my job. The reason is I was late for work. The last one, we couldn't go to the concert because we didn't have enough money. Here is the point that I said. Yes, try. The last one.
If we have enough money, we would go to the concert.
No.
Mr.
Conditional
Connector?
type 3. Yes.
If we have had enough money, we would have gone to the concert.
Correct the first one a little bit.
If we had enough money, we would have gone
If
to
we
the
would have
Yes. The student who answered it is the one who finished giving the answer right now. Who's that? If we had enough money, we would have gone to the concert, which means we didn't have enough money and we didn't go to the concert. Guys, here are the answers for the questions, but I'll send you this PowerPoint on the grade 8 Telegram channel. You can print it or you can download it on your phones and read it. I'm so happy that we had a very good class today. If you think we had a very good class today, show me your hands by clapping. Yay! And it says stay safe. I love you all and stay safe, and I'll see you in 1 month time at school and we'll have a great class. Until then, see you next Monday. Bye-bye.
Bye, Mr.
Bye.
Yes.
Bye.